everyone, it's Jessica, and this is another edition of Raleigh Rambles, where I process something that I'm thinking about out loud and share it with all of you. Today I'm thinking about a meeting that I just had, and I just want to kind of reflect a little bit on it, and I thought I would capture some of my thoughts as I drive back to the office. I was at a school, and I worked with a principal this morning, helping him get set up with video and some of the things that he wants to do with video to model his own practice and model some things for his teacher leaders, as well as just open sharing. I was actually really excited when I sat down to talk with him, and he said, so I've been thinking a lot about this, and here's my blog post. Have you read my blog post yet about this? And I said, no, I haven't seen it yet. And he's like, well, here's my blog post that I've been thinking about a lot since this past summer, and I had all these learning experiences, and I got to meet these really great people, and this is kind of what I've been thinking, and I just want to share openly. I just want to put everything out there, and not sure exactly what that's going to look like, but I just want it to be open, and I just want to share it. And I just sort of had this moment of just like, how is this my job that I get to work with such amazing educators like this? Just the fact that he is in that place and in that mindset as a leader, it's exciting to me, and I really appreciate that about him. And that's very different than a lot of the conversations that I have with principals. A lot of times they're really concerned, and for very good reasons, about what gets shared and how it gets shared and those kinds of things. And sometimes I just wonder, if all of us just shared everything all of the time, how much of the focus could actually be really on students and learning and teaching and the great things that are happening. We could just celebrate all of that a lot more. So in any event, one of the things that I sort of realized for myself is that there was a point in time not too long ago when I would think about my meetings that I would have with principals, and I would be really nervous about them, and I would get sort of everything planned out and kind of think it through a bunch, like, okay, how am I going to do this, and what are the things that I need to do and accomplish with them, and I would just be really nervous about meeting with them and not feel confident. Nervous because I did not feel confident meeting with the principals, and it's something, it's an area of my practice that I have been trying to develop for a while, to build that comfort and to feel confident in working with school leaders. And I often lump certain groups of people together and say, okay, I need to be better at working with school leaders, or working with teachers who are not comfortable with technology. And I actually kind of was just reflecting on why I wasn't nervous about this particular meeting and why I was actually super excited about it, and just looking forward to it, but in a very just chill kind of way, which, if you know me, that's not really my personality. So I was just trying to reflect on why that might be. And one of the things that just sort of popped into my head was that sometimes when you don't necessarily need to be confident in working with a certain group of people if you're confident in your content. And I have done many of these meetings with a variety of people now. I have gone through these steps. I can do it in my sleep, I think. I think some nights I do. And I really just have it down, and I know, and not just down that I have the structure and I can sort of go through the motions, but I've done it so much that I've internalized it. And because a lot of these processes are processes that I helped create or completely created, and I was, some of them are just my ideas, like the way in which we do it. Some of this is just, it's all me. And I guess I sort of think about it in terms of, when you are handed a facilitation and somebody says to you, I need you to facilitate this PD session, I really struggle with that because I'm still trying to get used to the content, versus when you write the PD and you create the facilitation. Through that process of creating it, you actually internalize it, and you think it through so many times, and you anticipate what that different audience might need, and you kind of try to create opportunities for them to personalize it for their own needs and all of those things. And so you're able to sort of just run with it more because you feel confident. And then the more that you facilitate that same session, the more confident you become, and the more you learn about it. Oh, I did it this way last time. What was good about that? What was not so successful? How can I tweak it for this particular audience? And that's sort of what this feels like, is that because I have had such a strong connection to, and really had my hands in the creation, and even before creation and implementation, like the ideation of these meetings and facilitations and the way that we're doing this process. Because of all of that, I feel really confident in it, and I can do it backwards and forwards, and I can change the order of things, and I can go where I can be really responsive to what the person in front of me is asking. As they ask questions, I can sort of take them through different things, and I can really get us. It doesn't even feel like on track. Sometimes when you're teaching, you feel like, okay, I know I'm going down this path, and then someone asks a question, you go off here, and then you're like, okay, everybody, let's come back to this place. It doesn't even feel like that anymore. It just feels like I am really just like answering their questions and letting them guide the process. But by the end, we've still hit all of our outcomes. I don't know if that makes sense, the way that I'm explaining it, but that's just kind of how it feels, and that's what I'm thinking about right now. So I thought it was really interesting that all this time I've been thinking about how I need to become better at working with school leaders and building my strategies and my experience with working with them. And I'm kind of questioning that right now. I guess I'm questioning, is that the most important thing, or is what I really need to do to become confident in what it is I am talking to them about? And really not even just like developing that confidence, but like I said, really developing my content knowledge and a strong internalization of what it is we're doing and why we're doing it, and working with a lot of different people and gathering those experiences and ideas so that I can then share them with others. Because I used to, in my previous job, work with school leaders a lot about blended learning and their rollouts, and I didn't usually get nervous about a lot of that because I really felt like I knew my stuff. And I think that it's very powerful when you're able to model that you are also a learner and that you don't know everything. And I definitely try to do that. But there's something to be said for knowing your stuff and walking into a situation and feeling confident in yourself and confident in the material that you're delivering, and being able to and believing it. I believe in what it is that I am doing so strongly that I'm not questioning it. I'm not thinking about like when someone asks me a question, sometimes it gets me to really think like, oh, why are we doing it that way? I love those questions, but I never wonder like, oh yeah, we shouldn't be doing that, or it's at least something that I've thought through. I guess I'll say that. It's when those questions come to me, generally it's something that I've thought through. Sometimes it's not, which I love those kinds of questions. Those are the best questions. But I know my stuff, and I feel good about it, and I believe in it, and I'm passionate about it, and that makes it fun. Everything else is just it's just kind of gravy after that point. So in any event, there's my ramble for today, kind of reflecting on that principal meeting that I had, and I will continue to reflect and think about what my next steps are and how I can even do those things a little bit better. But I think the big takeaway that I have is how can I continue to be involved enough in the projects that are being built and the way that we're implementing them and supporting them, so that I really believe in it wholeheartedly, and I feel really confident in what it is that we're doing, and I have all of the context for those situations, so that I can be successful in helping others to jump on board. And I'm also thinking about how can I help others to build that amount of context and passion and understanding around the why and the what, just as much as I have, because I think that's really the next step too. So hope everybody is having a great day, and I will talk to you all very soon.